In this episode, we're going to be talking about who would win in a fight, the Justice League or their kids.
Transformers. There's sadness in my eyes.
Alright, here's what I'm sourcing from. We're sourcing from Justice League Rebirth 28 and 29. Like, this is basically when the Justice League's kids have come back in time. And to figure out, you know, like, for the same reason anyone goes back in time, is to fix their reality. Like, this one was issue 28 was, it was a lot of explaining what's going on. Like, Hunter, there was a few, the kids who came back were Hunter, who's Wonder Woman's son. There's Cube, who's Cyborg's son. There's Cruz, who's the Flash's daughter. It didn't really get into the twins. This issue didn't really get into those twins. But either way, those are the main characters we're dealing with anyway. And the issue 28 opened with Hunter eating dinner with Superman, or not Superman, but like Clark and his family. And Jonathan was super excited because he basically has a brother. And what had happened with Hunter is Wonder Woman's son, but in the future, apparently Wonder Woman abandons this dude, and he gets raised by Clark and his family, which is cool of Clark, but like, Wonder Woman, I don't know what the hell her deal is. We don't know what her deal is yet. But so Jonathan is really happy because he has a son. Or Jonathan is really happy because he has a brother. And then it shows Cube hanging out with Cyborg. And Cyborg introduces Cube to his father, which is Cube's grandfather. And they're both kind of just like socially retarded. It's a really adorable moment where they're both just kind of talking to each other like nerds. Like, the grandfather's just kind of like, it's not like hugs, it's just kind of like if two computer geeks met each other, kind of what would happen. And but that's what a lot of it deals with. A lot of it deals with just kind of just telling the stories. And then Superman and Hunter sit down and talk, and Hunter starts telling Superman about how he raised him, how he would sit him in that room and just tell him stories, and like, just kind of how he raised him. And then Superman just asked him, he was like, what about John? What about Jonathan? And then Hunter just had to break it to him. He was like, man, he's dead. Like, in the future, Jonathan Kent is dead. And so these guys are trying to prevent any of this from happening. That's why they've come back in time. They're trying to prevent it all from happening. So Flash is hanging out with his daughter, Cruz, which is funny. And Aquaman's daughter is hanging out with Aquaman's wife, and they're just kind of getting to know each other. But it all kind of comes together with I guess Cyborg is kind of tapped into the Watchtower's security systems, or the cameras or whatever, and he's kind of keeping an eye on Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman is keeping an eye on the Justice League. Have this conversation about how they need to figure out why the kids are there, and they need to figure out whatever. And Wonder Woman starts kind of like talking to herself and like, I think I did this. I think I have something to do with it. And then that's when Cube alerts all of the kids. Cube alerts everyone, and he's like, we need to talk. And that's where 28 ends. Then we go into 29. Also, Jonathan Kent is dead. But for some reason, they don't really explain where Damien is. I don't know if Damien just has nothing to do with these guys, if Damien is old, if Damien doesn't have his own kid. There's no Batman character, I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't think there is. Well, 29 opens up, and 29 also opens up in the Kent household, and it's Clark in the kitchen with Lois, and they're kind of talking, and then Clark just kind of bends over in pain, and she's like, "What's the problem?" He's like, "Kryptonite," and there's no one else in the house, but then Aquaman just kind of appears. He kind of just teleports into the kitchen, and he's got where his normal hook hand would be. He has kryptonite, just like a kryptonite fist, just a big rock of it. And apparently he stole that from Batman. He has the kryptonite rock from Batman, and Batman also made this stick that emits red sunlight. And so he just jams that into the ground, emitting red sunlight, taking away Superman's powers, also hurting him with kryptonite, which I don't think both should work at the same time. But, what do I know? And he takes Superman. He doesn't kill him right there. He beats the crap out of him. But he doesn't take Superman right there. And then Lois hits him in the back of the head with a baseball bat, breaking it over his head. And he kind of grabs Lois, and he's like, "You had nothing to do with it. I'm not here for you." And then just throws her, and she gets knocked out. Then he takes off with Superman. Aquaman's here to wreak havoc. I don't know what he's here to kick butt and take names, and he just shows up. Who takes Superman out that fast? Not even Batman takes some work. This dude just showed up, took him out, and left. And then after this, that's when the kids have gotten together, that they talk. They're like, they have to take out Wonder Woman. Hunter's like, "I'll do it." Because none of them are strong. None of them are really that strong. And they're like, "We're not strong enough to fight her." And he's like, "I am." So they all go in. And then this is where we find out who would win in a fight. This is where we find out who would win in a fight. And it is not even a contest. The Justice League would beat the crap out of their kids. Not just because they're kids, but because Wonder Woman did it by herself. She beat the crap out of all of them. They were down a member, but I don't think it would have made that big a difference, because she kicked the snot out of all of them. And then it goes back to what's his name? Aquaman. Wait, no, then after that, Lois wakes up with Batman standing over her, and he starts to explain, or she starts to explain, what's happening. Why does he have your weapon, or why does he have all that, and then finding out that they're his weapons, and, you're not going to be happy about that. And then Aquaman goes and collects each hero he sees is responsible for all of it. Aquaman, he goes and gets Flash. He goes and gets the Flash. I don't know what Batman's doing, but his weapons are awesome. They're you don't want to make Batman angry. We've all known that, but wow. He has a temporal grenade that I guess it stops time, and Flash is still moving. He was even Aquaman was blown away that Flash was still moving when time is stopped. And well, easy enough, he beats the crap out of Flash, and then Flash's girlfriend, who I think is a lantern, tries to do something, but Aquaman has a ring. It's Batman. He's using Batman's plan. He has a ring that takes all the Green Lanternness away, and then knocks her out. See, and then like Cyborg wasn't even a challenge. It just kind of, it's like you throw a refrigerator magnet on the guy and he shuts down. It wasn't that, but it might as well have been. Like the dude's just like, I can't move. Aquaman shows up, takes him, leaves. Easy peasy. And then it goes back to the fight of Wonder Woman beating the crap out of their kids. And she ends up with holding her knife or sword, whatever it is. It's like a short Roman sword. So technically a sword. It looks like a machete. But like has it to Hunter's throat and is like, telling everybody to stop. And then Hunter yells at Cube and is like, boom, is what he says. And so teleports them back to Midway City. And Midway City is the place in 28, forgot to talk about this, where darkness is taken over. Darkness is taken over, and like it's taken the Green Lantern, I think his name is Simon, having to hold it back. Like he's the one holding it back in this city. He's got it quarantined. And then it takes them there. They show up there, and like they can feel the darkness is alive, and it's telling Green Lantern to let go and to let it open. And then he does, and it takes over Wonder Woman. Like it just grabs her. Flashback to not flashback, but back over to Aquaman's daughter and his wife. Aquaman shows up there, and he says, Sovereign, the Queen of the World, has come to reclaim everything she has lost. And that's where it ends. That's where those comics end. So if you think that's where those end, that was a great story. Those are great books. But I was so surprised on how easily the kids got beat up. Like, did they have no fight in them? Like, they just got beat up hard by Wonder Woman. You have Cyborg, you have Cube on your side. Come up with a plan. Do something. Come on. Do something. But anyway, so who wins between the Justice League and their kids? Justice League. Wonder Woman. She beat the crap out of all of them. That's who wins. If you have any debates on any of that, freaking leave it down in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. You know the deal. Share it with your friends. And thanks for watching. Peace out.